Nothing better than a bit of mill-based bow hunting. Whether it be on the pump with the crossbow and the deagle, no body armour and a dream, or if you're landing on the top of the barracks and he's got a DBS and you do the little duck, duck, weave, weave, tap, tap, tap. Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Bushka, and today's topic is the primary weapon that I'm running right here in this little situation I'm going to switch to right now, the Groza, or Groza, or Groza. I think that's the closest I'm going to get. Groza. This is the 7.62 crate drop for the ARs. I want to talk a little bit about that before I go any further. There's been a lot of weird stuff when you think about it. The M249 used to be in a crate, and this is a red herring, but I'm going to say it anyway. M249 used to be in a crate, okay? And they replaced that with the MG3, meaning the only 5.56 weapon left in crates was the AUG A4. It's a bullpup. It has an incredibly slow reload, and it's basically just an M416. They replaced the M249 with an MG3. So now there's a Mark 14, a Groza, and an MG3 in airdrop crates. And yet, I get really upset about this because so many of the Flavor of the Month players, and you can't blame them because this is a super effective loadout, will run UMP and M416. And so you get to the end of the game, and a lot of people just don't have the ammo in these late game crates to pick up a Groza and run it. And I've come across this issue before. Now, I don't have such of a problem with that because I generally tend to run an M762 or an AKM as my primary AR, unless I'm running a sniper rifle on Miramar, when I'll quite often switch out an M416. Or if I can't find a bolty, I will commit the sin of sins and run UMP/M416. What does a Groza do fantastically? Well, it cleans people up close. It's got this wonderful hydraulic compression sound when it's firing, and with the suppressor on the end, that is absolutely gorgeous. It also gets a very bad rap for its recoil. Its recoil is not as good as the M416s, but it's not as bad as the AKMs, okay? And I actually think it's not as bad as the M762s. The Groza's recoil, oh God, it's not the Groza. That's all I can be certain about. Its recoil is actually a whole lot better than it's given credit for. When the game first started, people used to be like, oh, should I pick it up? I'm not very good at recoil control, which was madness. It's absolutely glorious at up close and personal. And if you get your sensitivity settings right, it can be effective with a red dot out to 50 meters, no problems at all. And that's something that I've seen coming into a lot more of people's gameplay. People are using M4s and SCAR-Ls and Grozas and AUGs and such like to a much longer range with a red dot, especially with the added incentive of aim assist. Those kind of things help with holding such a big donk weapon into the headshot zone at that 30, 40, 50 meter range. The other thing it's got, and the reason I picked this up over a UMP, because a lot of people would prefer a UMP than this, is I am an ADS player. I'm not always going to be using movement. You'll note that I'm always ADSing on my shots. That's a weakness and a strength, and I will be discussing that in other videos. I'm going to be doing a video about some of the gameplay mechanics which really pee me off, right? And because of that ADSing, the Groza is a much better weapon for me than the UMP in CQC. That's not to say it's not very good with the UMP, but like I prefer a Mark 14 over all of them, that thing there. The Groza is both the fastest time to kill AR in the game at 0.231 seconds to clear a level 2 vest at 0.2 meters, and the fastest rate of fire 7.62 AR in the game. It fires a 47.9 base damage round, which is the same as the Mark 47 Mutant and the AKM, and it does it with a round every 0.077 seconds. That is a very, very fast gun. For comparison, everyone's crowd favorite, the M416, fires a round every 0.094 seconds. If you're doing your math, you'd know that that's like 20% faster. That's a lot, okay? It's actually more than that. And it fires a heavier round faster, which is why It is absolutely brutal to deal with this thing in that 10 to 15 meter range. And unlike the UMP and the other SMGs, it has a 714 meter a second bullet speed, which means the round gets there quick enough for it to matter. The magic button for M416s, and the reason it continues to be effective, is not just the broken recoil. It's the fact that it has 900 meters a second bullet speed. And bullet speed is literally the magic part of the equation here. When you have fast bullet speed, you have to lead a target by less. And that means when you ADS at like 25 meters with a Groza versus a UMP, you don't have to worry so much about those center mass shots. As long as you lead it just a smidgen, you'll be fine. The other thing I love about this is if you are a third-person player, and everyone is these days, FPP is the dead language of PUBG Mobile. It's one of those great weapons where you just hold the button down and run around a corner, and it does the job for you. It also has that wonderful... look, the AKM is renowned as being a pain in the ass for people because you'll be winning the gunfight versus an AKM, and then you won't be because it'll hit you in the head. The Groza's base damage round on a no helmet wearing person is 110.1. 110.1, right? That is an awful lot of angry. Whereas the base damage round, say, for an M4 is 94. So you hit a headshot with a Groza, you're doing big numbers. 77 on a level 1 helmet. Hell, it does 49.55 into a level 3 helmet. So it clears targets quickly and it clears them effectively. It is a wonderful weapon in terms of CQC, and it is a massively underrated weapon compared to... Like, if you can run an M762 like that, you need to be running a Groza. It is really... The M762 has worse recoil, I find, than the Groza, lower damage, and a slower rate of fire. So, if you can run the M7, you sure as hell should be running the Groza. I'm Bushka. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Lots more coming down the pike. Stay safe in the battlefield. Please like the videos and subscribe if you want more of this educational kind of content. And as always, bye for now.